looks like there's a hole. And then the dining kitchen area, another tatami room. The new tatamis. Again, I love the smell. What's going on, Akiya Hunters? Welcome back to my channel. Today is a sequel episode to one of the interviews that I did recently. So I think a couple months ago, I interviewed a gentleman, Brian from Hawaii, who bought the rental property for his grandson. It's a legacy project, right? Shortly after he closed on that deal, and it's been a couple months now, and the renovation project is almost done. So I'm heading there to check out what the house looks like. So Brian, thanks for letting me visit your property. Super excited to see what that property has turned into. So I've been driving for about 20 minutes from my place, and I think we're almost there. We are super close to Shin Yokohama station. So I think it's just another like 7 minutes of driving in the rain again. But yeah, once I get there, I'll let you know what that house looks like on the inside. Okay. It was pouring out until like 10 minutes ago, so now the sun's coming out, which is the perfect time to go to the house. So I'm here and I'm back at Brian's place. Let's go take a look inside. お邪魔します. All right. Wow. This room really opened up. Okay, so these were like double tatami rooms and had sliding doors. It looks like they taken out the sliding doors here. All the drawers, there are like a few drawers in the corner of that room, and this room opened up. All right, and then the dining kitchen area. Okay, so kitchen just remained the same, just cleaned up. Maybe they're still working on that. Okay, bathroom. Nice. Okay, so the bathroom tiles, I think, completely changed. Just, yeah, nice and clean feel. Okay, let's go take a look at the second floor. All right, so this is the house that has two kitchens. So one downstairs and one upstairs. But here's the first room. Okay, wow, all right. I like this, very different feel. Okay, here's a new tatami room. This was a tatami room, but they did the wall, the new tatamis. Again, I love the smell. And the balcony. Okay, let's take a look at. Okay, similar finish here. Okay, nice. These sliding doors, pretty cool. This is different. Here's the second kitchen. Okay, and then what was this room? Oh, this was a little den with a lot of stuff in it. Okay, so this one is now empty. I think this could be a pretty good office. And then, okay, here's the toilet. Okay, nice and cleaned up quite a bit. Yeah, I think this is my favorite room. This is a room I filmed my first video a few months ago, and my first visit, right? And this is where I interviewed Brian as well. But anyway, so this is what the current status looks like. And then I think after finalizing the renovation, we're moving on to tenant placement. So that's exciting. So let's do a little recap. This is where it all began a few months ago when I first came here for the initial walkthrough. This is where I sat when I interviewed Brian a couple months ago, shortly after he closed on this deal. And now I'm back here doing a walkthrough right before the renovation wraps up. For those who haven't seen the initial walkthrough, especially the conversation with Brian, I would definitely watch it. I think you get a lot out of it. Anyway, if you didn't watch the first one, that's okay. I'm gonna run through some numbers and something about this property. So first thing first, the location. This is probably my favorite part of this property. Coming from a former resident of this area. I used to live in Hiyoshi in Kohoku ward, which is the most populous ward in Yokohama, city of Yokohama. Yeah, I used to live in Kohoku. I think 1 or 2 stations from here. Hiyoshi station, that's where I lived many years ago. That was like 2009, 2010. So yeah, like 13, 14 years ago. And I really liked the convenience of it. Would I live there now, or would I live around here? Maybe. Conditions need to be met. But you know, as a single person, I loved the accessibility to Tokyo, but I also loved being closer to Yokohama as well. If I wanted to go out to Yokohama or, you know, go to like a beach in Kamakura, it was much easier than living in Tokyo per se. So location, Okurayama is the closest station to here. It's only about 15 minutes of walking. I didn't walk today because it was pouring out, so I decided to drive, but you know, it's very quick. And from there, you can take the Toyoko line train to Jiyugaoka, which is the closest, which is on the other side of the river that separates Kanagawa and Tokyo. I think it's Tama River. Jiyugaoka is like 10 minutes on that train. And if you switch onto like express or limited express, you can get to Shibuya in no time. Probably like another, you know, from Hiyoshi, probably like 15-20 minutes to Shibuya. Yeah, and then on the other side, you know, if you want to go to Yokohama, it's probably like 15 minutes. And all the way down to Motomachi Chukagai, where I live now, that's another like 10 minutes or so. So it's you get the best of both worlds. It's close to Yokohama, it is Yokohama, but close to Yokohama Station and close to the western part of Tokyo. Another thing is that this is very close to Shin Yokohama Station. Okay, so that's where you can get on the bullet train to the western side of Japan, Nagoya, Osaka, you know, Kyoto. So if you like to travel, I think it's great. It's very accessible. And you know, you can get to Tokyo, you know, Shinagawa and Tokyo Station in no time if you're willing to pay for it. Also, it's pretty close to Haneda Airport as well. So yeah, this is a perfect area for like convenience, right? You know, traveling domestically and internationally. So that's why I really, really like the location of this property. So that's number one. And number two, it is an older property built in 1963. So it's you know, 60 to 61-year-old house. Pretty old from the Japanese standards, but I think the structure is very good. You know, I feel pretty good being here on the second floor. And also it's got two kitchens. If you don't want to go downstairs and boil water or cook something, like you can easily, you know, do that. Or you could have two families, maybe like, you know, immediate families downstairs. Maybe your grandparents are living downstairs, and maybe you're living here with your parents or your kids, who knows. So I think it could attract different kinds of tenants. I think it's perfect for a smaller family as well, like 3 or 4, quite spacious with, you know, everything gone. Like we used to have furniture, all the drawers, but now they're gone. It feels definitely more spacious. Lots of rooms. So I think 4 rooms total, 2 kitchens, 2 toilets. So yeah, I think there are many possibilities to attract different kinds of, you know, potential tenants. That's another attractive part. Number 3 is the numbers. I'm sure you're gonna wanna know what Brian ended up paying. So to acquire this property, I believe he paid 11 million yen to purchase. On top of it, I think like less than 1 million, between like 500,000 to 1 million yen on the closing fees. So like titles, judicial scrivener fee, property taxes. I think it was like 11.5 with the closing fees, closing costs, and renovation. Yeah, I think it was like 2.5 million or something like that. So total, it was like just shy of 14 million all inclusive, which is less than $100,000. You know, it's pretty wild to think you can get something and get it, you know, renovated. Cosmetic renovation, you know, like nothing like, you know, it's a gut job and like everything has changed. Like it's good, you know, good enough great for, I think, renters, you know. But that's what you want for Akiya investing, right? Because in real estate, especially if it's your primary home, it's so easy to spend a lot more money than you allocated or initially planned on renovation, you know, trying to make things super nice, which is okay, you know, if you're living in it, like, yeah, like might as well make it nice, right? Rentals, yeah, you want to make it nice, like very livable, like clean and all that stuff, but you definitely want to work within your budget, you know, after consulting with the contractors and, you know, renovation companies. So, you know, I like what they've done so far with renovation, and I'm super excited about the final stage. Yeah, what he's expecting is 110,000 yen as a rental property. So that times 12, what is it, like 1.3 million or something? Yeah, I think it's like about 10% yield, maybe a little less. So it is not the greatest in terms of cash flow, and you get the return on cash flow because there's going to be insurance costs, property management, property taxes, and all that stuff. So returns probably will be like, I don't know, 7-8% or something like that. And I get a lot of comments saying like, hey, like if you're only getting 7-8% cash on cash return from Akiya investing, why do you even bother? Why don't you just put that money on towards S&P 500? You can get 7-8% super easy. Like you don't have to do anything, just click a button and wait. Like, yeah, you get the point. But I think real estate, yes, is a lot more active than buying index funds. But I think there's something about owning a piece of real estate. It's a real asset, right? And especially this one, I think you can expect some sort of appreciation because the location is pretty good. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think this area will continue to be very popular. It is already popular. It's the most populous ward in Yokohama. People are still moving into this ward, this area. And who knows, right? Japan, yes, as a whole, has a declining population, rapidly declining. And I spoke to someone who spent a lot of time in like Nagano Prefecture yesterday, and he was talking to like a station worker, and they were like, yeah, they built this station and it's actually not good for the locals because now locals have one more reason to move out of those rural areas. And where do they end up? They usually end up places like this, Tokyo, Yokohama, bigger cities, suburb. Yes, like, that's definitely a major problem that people are leaving, and, towns and villages are dying in Japan. And like, you won't see that in this neighborhood, in this type of neighborhood. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. So you might be able to expect some sort of appreciation in the future. And I know Brian bought this, he's thinking for long term, and he bought it for his grandson who is 13. When I met Brian last time, his grandson was here as well. And obviously, he didn't know much about real estate, owning what it takes and whatnot. But yeah, that's very nice of him that, he had that in mind. And maybe eventually he might want to move here from Hawaii and, end up using this as, his second home or primary home, or continues to be a landlord. So I think there are many possibilities and options for the future. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited about this property. Hopefully this gets rented out pretty quickly so Brian can enjoy that rental income coming in. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, an update of this property and what it looks like now. And if you're seriously considering about purchasing an Akiya like this and turning it into a income generating asset, we can help. We have a program called Akiya Income Generator, and I put the link below in the description. Yeah, just full transparency, we're not able to take on every applicant as a client. My team is still kind of small, but we're trying to scale. But it's really based on how committed you are, how ready you are, and how much you want to do this, and also the why behind it. Why Japan? Why not in your home country? The bigger the reason, the more we want to talk to you. So we'll look forward to your application, and I hope to see you there. And if you enjoyed this episode, I am sure you're going to enjoy this one. So watch this next for more, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.